Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the J22 Report. I am your host, Johnnie Market. You all know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you already haven't. Just a little disclaimer, nothing should be construed as financial investment advice. These are just my opinions, thoughts on the market. You can read my two disclaimers below. And I'm not a financial advisor, so just want to do a video to begin this week with a couple of things. See how things go. First part of the news is economic, and then there's just some other stuff. But this just to show how bad the economy's going, even though I think the stock market's in a short-term uptrend right now. Look at this. Longtime pet store chain closes all locations in 40 years. Look at this business amid economic challenges. And so there it is. Economic challenges, persistent inflation, and of course they say market competition. But I would say economic challenges and persistent. So pet store chain announced closure of all locations, primarily located in the Northeast, shuttering all 13 stores in Massachusetts and Connecticut. For 40 years, it's been in the region. So recently, it will shut 178 branches in just one state next month. That's a lot of jobs, and that's a lot of new commercial real estate entering the market that wasn't there before. So this is going to continue, and this is the thing: the return to work office didn't really delay the commercial real estate because these people have limited flows. And now that they have to spend more money on getting to work, they have to buy all these new clothes, they don't have money to spend elsewhere. And their cost of work has gone up. Not only that, these people, they have to do childcare now. So their cost went up. And so all these other things, they're going to go even worse. So, and they said they'll begin closing between now and June. So this is new. These are new, and they probably won't show up till later this year. So yeah, that's the. So here it is, customer appreciation sale. Today was the last day, as I'm doing, 6th through 11th. So a lot of these layoffs, they're not showed up yet. They're not going to show up till June, July, August. I have a cat. My heart goes out to. I love pets. I love them more than people. I'm not a big dog person. Like I like dogs, but they're just too much work. To get up in the morning, take them out, and if I want to just go away for the day, I can't do it. So love dogs, but I don't want to take care of them, so I'm not a dog person. Uh, I love dogs and cats. I just don't want a dog as a pet. Look at this. Pet industry saw a massive spike during pandemic. People decided to adopt pets while stuck at home. Yeah, and I mean that's because they're good-hearted. It was something to take care of, and take care of something. 70% of households had a pet in 2020. And so, look at this. And this is what I said. With them back to work, people are buying less product than before. And I've talked about this. This return to work office is bad for the economy. The elites think it will help asset prices, but think of it. They have to spend money on gas. They have to spend money on gas. They have to spend money on new clothes, which they wouldn't have had. They'll have to spend more money on food. Because a lot of people, yeah, you can say bring your bag and bring your bag lunch all you want, but people forget there's coworkers saying, "Hey, you want to go to lunch?" You really can't say no. If you say yes, no, and then all of a sudden people at work don't like you, so you have to go. And so people, yeah, and then they'll have to bring their bag home and figure out what to do with it. Maybe I'll take it tomorrow. Maybe I'll have it for dinner. And then, you got to pay for parking a lot of times. And a lot of companies, they're not doing stipends anymore because they're trying to get. So, what happens? How do people make up for this cost? And this is what I said, they're going to buy less product. Some of them, they might move home. Some of them they also have to go from the South, which is, crashing because of this, to back to New York or back to wherever. And they have to have a much more expensive home. So they even have less money to spend there. And then Wall Street, who bought up all these apartments and everything during the pandemic, they are going to be losing money. The elites, when they decided to go hellbent against telework, they didn't think this through. They really did not think this through. They did not, and so this is where it is. You already see a casualty right here. Pet stores and everything. And this is gonna be the worst. Can you imagine all the abandoned? Imagine if people decided uh, to abandon pets. Imagine all these abandoned pets everywhere. And this is one thing I don't really talk about on this podcast, but this is so here it is. It's sadly not uncommon for people to leave their cats behind when they move. This can happen for various of reasons, including changing circumstance, ignorance, or lack of consideration for the cats have become vulnerable to various dangers when left behind, such as cars, predators, or lack of food or shelter. And then look, allowing pets to experience financial hardship. So we'll have all these, this is not, and I wonder if people do this with dogs. So, but no, I know it is true with cats. And so, look, friend moved out. Is it legal? Look, abandoned cats. Why do people leave? So it's really a sad thing. I can never leave my cat behind. I love my cat. Love it more than most people in my life, honestly. So, but this is not just an economic consequence. Let's see if the people move their dog behind, but this is a big social consequence. Because who wants a bunch of dead pets in the streets? Like, I don't know how accurate these YouTube videos are. So yeah, abandoned dog. Let's see. So yeah, you can see this is one thing. Man moving in a new house finds a dog. So yeah, this is really, I mean, uh, tips for landlords and tenants do with their abandoned pets. It's really a sad thing with cats, but and dogs. But yeah, this is not going to be good. It's going to, I remember one time I had an apartment I moved in, there was excessive dander and everything. So this is really going to be there's more than economic consequences to this. So anyway, back to the economics and less depressing thing. Let's go over a couple of things. Wall Street is forecasting stagflation. So basically, the consensus expected is 3% PCE inflation, that is up from the 2.5% at the beginning of the year. They also expect 1.4% GDP growth. That's declined from negative 2.2. And if you look at it, last quarter started negative. So it's not off to a good start. Atlanta Fed, to be fair, their expectation now is, I think, 2.2% for next quarter. Uh, latest estimate is 2.3%. That was in uh, after this morning's wholesale trade report. But you never know. There's more data to come. But yeah, Wall Street is souring. They're doing the stagflation. And what will benefit from it? Gold, silver, precious metals. I expect one more up leg, and that's about it. And if you look at it, investors are dumping U.S. tech stocks. U.S. technology funds posted $1.2 billion in net outflows. Biggest withdrawal in 3 months, despite the recent recovery. So this is, and I think all rallies are going to be sort of capped. I think this week, you have that news with China, US, but you never know. Those trade things are day to day. We know Trump's going to cave on them. Powell's going to cave next when the economy goes down, but let's go into the fear and greed index to wrap up this video. And right now, the stock market, as I was covering, fear, extreme fear. And that's why I was like, this probably due for a bounce. I didn't think it would be like this, but neutral. Now it's at greed. And I think once it goes to here, extreme greed, which is, look at this. This is a year ago. A month ago was at extreme fear. So over the next couple of weeks, I think it's going to make the extreme greed, and then there'll be a sell-off. Maybe it's the 5,800. I heard a technical analyst guy say 58, 58, 50 is possible, but it's at neutral a week ago. So next week, probably greed. So if you look at gold, this sell off's not surprising. If you look at it previous month, previous week, it was at 78 the last time we checked, but it's at greed. And yeah, it was at 76, 71. And I think it will eventually go to neutral fear, and that's when the stimulus is going to come. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of data coming up this week, so we'll see what's happening. As you can see, they're caving on trade. And that's the rally, and eventually more problems are going to come. So that's all. Hit that like button, subscribe. Just remember the disclaimer is not a financial advisor. This is not construed as financial investment advice. It's just educational and conversational purposes and my thoughts on what's happening. Just some guy on YouTube. Do not invest based on these videos. So anyway, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you next video.